Elite life is lonely.
Whenever you decide to become yourself, you become lonely.
Success is such a lonely road, man.
Be comfortable with being isolated. Be comfortable with spending a lot of time alone. Be comfortable with just being you and one or two, three people around you that serve as your circle, because very few people are going to be able to make that journey to wealth and abundance.
I'm only sharing this because some of you who are listening to this are actually going to achieve big shit. And it's going to feel really lonely for a lot of that time. And it's because you're going to feel like the odd man out, and you're going to feel like what you're doing is contrary to what everyone else is doing. The people who are back there are going to, call you names behind your back. They're going to say you think you're better than them. They're going to say that you forgot where you came from. And you just develop a thicker skin because you realize that they say those things and yet you still continue.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not going to understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you try and make them understand, you're going to end up frustrated. The best advice I can tell you is go on the journey by yourself. It is the best journey, man. Leveling up, making more money, losing weight, getting fit, becoming the best version of yourself is the most awesomest journey you will ever go on. But it's a journey that you will probably go on by yourself.
Did nobody get in there and put the gloves on for me? Did nobody go out there on that road and run miles and miles for me? Nobody took the broken ribs. Nobody took the bloody nose. I did it all. I dedicated myself to my craft and I bust my ass. I'm going to continue to keep believing in my skills, keep listening to my father, keep listening to my uncle, and sit on this throne.
A leader is always lonely because they are out front. There's no one out there with them. When you think about it, if you have everyone around you, then you're part of the crowd. So leaders they live a lonely life, but they chose that loneliness. And that's important. You have to choose to be alone if you're going to change the world. And every great leader in history, as you study them, they really found their true self when they was alone. Moses was in the wilderness. Jesus Christ in the desert. Paul went to the desert. When you pursue something that is more important than the crowd, you end up leading the crowd. Someone said you cannot lead an orchestra unless you turn your back to the crowd.
Success is not sexy. I do lots of things, especially early in my career, that I wasn't super motivated to do. Maybe you like the way your body looks, but you don't like going to the gym every day. But guess what? You do it. Why do you do it? Because you value the way your body looks more than not going to the gym. Some of you are like, I don't do that. Well, that also tells and shows. Does it make sense? Especially in early life, you are going to do lots of things you don't like. And it isn't because they're shitty, it isn't because they're bad, it isn't because they're lame, it's your lame. You don't know what you don't know yet. It's really that simple. You just don't know what you don't know yet. And so if you, as a young entrepreneur or as a young person trying to become a professional, if you already have a really small world, right, of your preferences, guess what's gonna happen if you don't learn how to grow out of that? The world's just gonna get smaller.
Is it true that you have to be a little selfish to get rich? The answer is no. You actually have to be very selfish to get rich. You can't build a dynasty with a group chat schedule. Selfish means with your time, your focus, your energy. When I was building my first company, I lost friends. Family called me a self-centered narcissist. People acted like I changed because I stopped showing up to every little thing. But the truth is, I was building, and building costs you access to the old version of your life. You miss nights out, you miss irrelevant. And even now, I want more out of my life, so I'm moving different. I'm changing my phone number. I'm not having fun the way some people expected, because I'm not trying to live a millionaire life with billionaire thoughts. This is what nobody tells you. You can't keep everybody happy and build something great. Average lives are built on availability. The question isn't, is it selfish? The question is, how bad do you want it? If you want uncommon results, you need uncommon boundaries.
One of the most powerful things you can learn is how to be alone, like actually alone. No noise, no people, no distractions, just you and your dark thoughts. Most people can't do it. People say they're independent, but they're always out, always talking, always planning the next thing. Because deep down, those people are scared of silence. They're scared of, what comes up when the noise dies down. Like, do you know how many people jump from plan to plan, country to country, person to person, just so that they don't have to face themselves? So, if you can sit in a room with your own mind and not lose it, if you can spend time alone without needing to numb out or run, that's control and that's peace. I think the goal isn't to be liked by everyone. It's okay to be with yourself when no one's around.
Whenever you decide to become yourself, you become lonely. because everyone around you wants you to be like them, or they want you to be them. So when you discover that you are unique, you are special, you are important, and you decide to become who you are and achieve what you were dreaming, loneliness is the result. Every true vision only has one believer first, and it's the person who have that vision. What attracts people to you is when you decide that you don't care if you're lonely, you're still going to pursue the vision. So it's the desire to use your aloneness properly that makes people come to you. You're no longer alone.
There is so much evidence that suggests that success can only be achieved when you are alone, which is why the great psychologist Carl Jung said, "He who looks outside dreams, but he who looks inside awakens." Some of the most successful people in the world became that way because of solitude. You see, there's a rule of life that says people are rewarded in public for what they spend years doing in private. Beautiful photos are developed in what? The dark room. See, your problem is you've been spending so much time trying to be liked, trying to fit in, that you never spent that time alone in the dark room, which is where your power and beauty lies. You see, solitude is the main way to create success. Isaac Newton was known to retreat to his family's farm to make significant discoveries. The great Nikola Tesla would spend long periods of time in seclusion. Einstein's contribution to physics came from daydreaming and solitude. Solitude is necessary for success, because when you're in the world and you're distracted by all the thieves of your attention, you never get the time, the bandwidth to tap into your gift. This is why Lincoln said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'm gonna spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." See, you need to spend time in solitude so that you can sharpen your own skills. When you need a life-saving surgery done, it's just you and the doctor. They don't let Instagram in, they don't let friends in, they all can wait outside. When you're in the operating room, it's just you and the doctor. And so if you want to operate on or save your life, it's gotta be done in solitude.
Have you ever gone to a cafe by yourself and just sat there? And I don't mean sit there on your phone or TikTok and scroll. Sit down at the restaurant by yourself, no phone. Get a book, get a pad and pen, be in your own thoughts, be present right here in the moment. Nobody can do that anymore. But when you are constantly distracting yourself, you wake up, you go outside, you're always around people, you never have enough time to sit with your own thoughts and even understand who you are. And if you don't know who you are, then how the hell are you going to listen to your own intuition?
I realize you go higher, you go even more alone. Why? Because nobody is willing anymore to invest their energy in going higher, because it's becoming more difficult. They say, oh, it's already okay here. Why you still want to move up there? The air is getting thinner over there. It's getting more hard to breathe. It's getting more dangerous, whatever. So that means along this way, the higher you want to go, the more likely you're gonna walk alone. Along the way to mastery, you walk the way alone.
I want to talk to you today about how fortune favors the brave. Boldness is a necessary part of courage, but it must be a boldness based on an intelligent assessment of the potential risks and rewards. Now, the wonderful nature of boldness is that properly directed, it builds the habit of courage in the person who practices it. Now, in my experience, any virtue translated into action leads almost invariably to positive results. This applies to the virtues of integrity and persistence and courtesy and love and courage. I've always liked the advice of an old man to his grandson. He said, act boldly and unseen forces will come to your aid. Isn't that a great thought? Act boldly and unseen forces will come to your aid. Perhaps the most obviously important part of courage is the courage to step out in the face of uncertainty. Every great venture in the history of man has begun with faith and a giant leap into the unknown. There's no security in life, only opportunity. Audacity, audacity, always audacity. In other words, always be on the offensive, always be attacking. When you attack, you have control of your life and the situation.
Elite life is lonely. Everything that comes with elite life, good of it, the mentality, the drive, commitment of it. Elite life is lonely. The best people I know are lonely. They're isolated. One of my best friends, Rio Ferdinand, one of the best players in his position on earth for probably 8 years. When he's complaining about not having won the Premier League 3 years in a row, who can he go to and go, I'm really upset I haven't won 3 Premier Leagues in a row? Because 99.9% of other humans playing in that position haven't won it once. So no one wants to hear him complaining about not winning it the third time. But the elite mentality is what creates the disappointment winning it a third time. But another friend who's a billionaire, runs a tech company, he was explaining to me how disappointed he is in his company's growth this year, and his company's growth is higher than my company's growth. This is a tragedy for him that he's growing faster than me. And he's talking to me about it, and I'm looking at him going, I would take your worst day because your worst day is better than my best. So eliteness is lonely by definition. So all we can do if we're trying to be elite, or we actually are elite, is make ourselves a bit less lonely. We're never going to be not lonely. Zuckerberg, Bezos, Gates, Oprah Winfrey, they're all getting together on the side. I think that happens once a year. For the rest of the year, they're talking to people who have no idea what it's like to be them. For the rest of the year, they're talking to people who've got hundreds of millions and not billions. They've got no idea. So I think we've all got to accept that when we're trying to be elite, or we are elite, we're going to be lonely and we have to get somebody who's comfortable with that.
That's not saying that you get rid of friends, but typically they'll get rid of you. Like when you're outgrowing people, it's uncomfortable for the people that you've outgrown. They don't like to see that you are moving forward at such a fast progression, which I wish it wasn't that way. But I had a girlfriend that I was friends with for now I'm feeling old, but almost 20 years, like 18 years. And when I started getting kind of notoriety on the internet, I didn't realize it bothered her, but it did. And so, at one point she's like, you're posting about all your other friends and not me. And I was like, oh, I only post business stuff. My parents aren't on, there's no personal stuff on there. I keep that pretty private. So I didn't realize that was important to you. And this was a rift that just never healed. And so I think that happens continuously, but I like content because then I find the humans who actually want you to win. Get super inspired by that. When you find those people, I think it's worth more than the winnings.
Is it a lonely existence? Leadership is, that's fine. I'm not going to be afraid of confrontation to get us to where we need to go. I think it's this big misconception when people think winning or success comes from everybody putting their arms around each other and saying kumbaya and patting them on the back when they mess up, and that's just not reality. If you're going to be a leader, you're not going to please everybody.
The truth is that being alone is the key to a happy life, because most people never get to meet the real version of themselves until the noise disappears. They jump from person to person, friend group to friend group, distraction to distraction, hoping connection will fix what solitude is meant to reveal. People who fear being alone don't actually fear the loneliness. They fear meeting the parts of themselves that they've been avoiding. But here's the thing, your mind gets sharper in silence. Your emotions regulate faster without any interference. And your standards rise when you're not surrounded by people who keep pulling you back into old patterns. Being alone is where your nervous system resets. When you're by yourself, your brain isn't overprocessing everyone's mood, opinions, and expectations. It finally has space to breathe. Clarity is never found in company. It's found in quiet. You can't build a peaceful life when clinging to chaotic people. You can't build self-respect while surrounding yourself with people who drain it. And you can't build happiness in an environment that constantly interrupts it. Alone isn't being empty. It's alignment. It's where you learn what energizes you, what drains you, what you want, and what you'll never accept again. When you master the art of being alone, you stop chasing validation. You stop accepting bare minimum connections, and you start attracting people who match your peace. Being alone isn't the absence of happiness. It's the foundation to start building it. A healthy mind is a healthy life. Now follow me for more content.
If you're on this journey of upgrading your life, you have to be okay with being alone. The journey that you are embarking is very lonely. You're going to be in the stage of your life where you don't really fit in with your old friends, Not even because you cut them off, but you genuinely don't share the same interests anymore, but you don't really have access to the people that you want to be around. So in this in-between stage, it's going to be very lonely. But that is where you start to become your own best friend. This is where you start getting all those ideas and you start taking action on those ideas because you're one with yourself and you're not second guessing yourself anymore because your intuition becomes so much stronger. As opposed to before, your intuition just gets so clouded when you're around so much different energy. And I feel like this is the stage a lot of people get lost in because it's really lonely and sometimes you feel like you're going crazy. But if you're willing to go through this stage and actually embrace it, you're gonna be so grateful that you did because the light at the end of the tunnel is so bright.
Remember that in order to be successful, you have to fail a lot. Double your rate of failure. If you want to be successful faster, fail more often. You see, there's a law of probabilities that says the more you fail, the more likely you are to succeed. The less you fail, the less likely you are to succeed. Peter Drucker says you would never hire a person who has not had some major failures in life because they haven't learned anything. So the key is, if you want to be successful, don't be afraid of failure. Failure makes you strong. There's an old saying that what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Failure has made you strong. Failure has developed your character. There's an old saying that the north wind made the Vikings. The cold of the north wind coming out of the north that they had to row against made them the most formidable fighting force in the world. It's failure that makes us strong, but it's the fear of failure that kills us. And the way that you deal with the fear of failure is once you've decided what your dreams are and what you want to do, act as if it were impossible to fail. Imagine it were impossible to fail. Say, by gum, I can do that, and just start to think of all the benefits of achieving that goal, and then act boldly. Confront your fears. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Do you know that the ability to confront the fear of failure and to overcome it and to move towards your fears rather than away from them is the one guarantor that you absolutely become unstoppable? Do it over and over again, you develop the habit of courage. When you develop the habit of courage, eventually you find you're not afraid of anything. When you're not afraid of anything, your whole world opens up for you like a sunrise on the horizon. Everything becomes possible. You look around, a person says, what about this, what about that? I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. You get to the point where you're willing to do anything except jump out of an airplane without a parachute.
Success is such a lonely road, man. And that alone is why most people will not make it. When you're on your ascent, there's like this great divide, and you have your friends who you grew up with, who you feel like you can just sense like the way you guys view life and your perspectives don't align anymore. And then there's also a group of very successful people that you feel like are just out of reach. This uncomfortability is when you want people to root for you the most. And this isolation is what stops most people from being unstoppable. And that's your time to be your biggest hype man or hype woman, because most times it is just you. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror in the gym at 4 a.m. and I'll just tell myself, you got it, keep going. And it's that will from within, that self-belief that propels me towards greater things. You should speak with so much conviction. When people hear you speak, they're like, man, he knows exactly what he wants. Man, he's not gonna stop until he gets there. And day after day after day of unwavering self-belief. And when you make it, everybody supports. Everybody's gonna buy your merch. Everybody comments on your posts. Everybody can't wait to talk about you. But that's the time when you need it least. You need it in those hours of isolation. You gotta learn how to just thrive in the silence, in your self-doubt. The world already has enough doubt for you. You don't need to add any fuel to that fire. And that is the paradox of success. When that mountain is at its steepest, you climb alone. But the world stays silent in the struggle. And then it shouts your name once you no longer need their voices.
If you have goals that you are trying to achieve, master the art of being by yourself. When you're an ambitious person, you will come across all types of people that are distractions to the goal that you are trying to get to. You'll come across people that can't see your vision. You'll come across people that are naysayers, people that are jealous of you, people that might try to sabotage you. You have to remove these people from your path to get to where you need to go. And if you're dependent on having people around, this is where you fall. But if you can separate yourself and still be motivated, this is where you elevate. Sometimes what you need and what you want will conflict, but what you need needs to be more powerful than what you want. I struggle with this one myself. I went to the gym today and I thought about this. I'm someone who likes to go out and meet people. But for me to hit my goals, I need to be in the gym. So on a Friday night, I'm sitting at the gym, working out while everyone else is out mingling. I'm okay with that because my path requires discipline and consistency. And I'll never achieve it if I give in to the want to be at every social gathering. That is the reality of life, and it only gets deeper from here. There will be times where you have to stand alone philosophically. There will be times where no one around you understands what you're doing. You have to give those people two options: sit back and watch me do it, participate and trust me, but that's it. And you have to stand on that and work alone.